Hi everyone, hope you're all doing really well today. And today I'm in Brookwood Cemetery and I'm going to be showing you some notable graves, sort of like a mini tour. I'm going to show you about 10 graves. Now I know this place fairly well. I used to come here many years ago, so I'll give you a little mini tour and show you around, and some of the graves you'll probably know, probably some of the graves you won't. So yeah, let's go and see this first grave that I'm going to show you. Look at that, quite stunning, isn't it? So my first one I'm going to show you is Christopher George Hewett, and he was born in Worthing in Sussex on the 5th of April 1921, and he died on the 3rd of August 2001 at age 80. And he died in Los Angeles in California, and he's buried here in Brookwood Cemetery. Yeah, he was an English actor and a theatre director, and best known for his role in Mr. Belvedere. And he was in things like The Lavender Hill Mob, The £1 Million Note, The Producer, Rat Boy, and I remember him in Heart to Heart, Fantasy Island, ER, Murder She Wrote, California Dreams, Ned and Stacey. I remember him in most of all them. Great actor, and he's buried here. And that says, in loving memory of Christopher George Hewett. So that was the first one. Now this second one I'm going to show you. Basically the first one I showed you is just over there, and the second one I'm going to show you is Alfred Bestel, which is just up there. Just up there is Alfred Bestel. Now, when he was buried, I was actually here. I was doing some work at the time. I think I was cutting trees down back in 1986, and I remember standing maybe around about this spot here, looking over, and I could see a lot of people over there. And it wasn't until a few days later when we came back and actually went over and had a look to see who it was, and it was Alfred Bestel, Rupert Bear cartoon illustrator. So let's go and have a look at his grave. There's a QR code there. And so this is the grave of Alfred Bestel, born on the 14th of December 1892, and he died on the 15th of January 1986. And he wrote and illustrated Rupert Bear for the London Daily Express from 1935 to 1965. And it says Alfred Bestel, MBE, 14th of DFC 1892 to the 15th of January 1986. Artist, a quiet corner of British genius. Anyway, I've got some more to show you over on the other side of the road, so I'll take a walk over there and I'll show you some more. It's very warm today. But anyway, I made it over to the south side of the cemetery. We were on the north side, and now I'm on the south side. And now I'm going to show you the next grave. So the next grave I'm going to show you is the grave of a Titanic survivor. And he's mostly known for being the guy who escaped off the Titanic, bribed his way off the Titanic, and his grave is just here. There's that one there. And he's Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon, and he was the 5th Baron DL. And he was born in 1862 and he died in 1931. And like I said, he's well known for being the man who escaped from the Titanic. He's a Titanic survivor. And he represented Britain at the 1908 Olympic Games. And he travelled under the assumed name of Mr. Morgan when he travelled on the Titanic. Very warm, like I said. I'm literally melting. But let's go and head on over to the next one. Now, the captain of the Titanic, his family are buried here, just over there. His wife and his daughter. Now, they don't have no notable grave markers, nor did the one I just showed you of the Titanic survivor. But here's the grave of Sarah Eleanor Smith, and I don't know if you can see that, that says widow of Captain Edward John Smith, Titanic. So that's the wife of the captain of the Titanic, who sadly sank, went down with the Titanic. And Sarah, his wife, also tragically died. In 1931 she lost her life. She was hit by a taxi in London. The widow of Captain Edward John Smith. Now, just a couple of graves up is their daughter. Which is, well, the headstone reads Sidney Russell Cook, 12th of December 92, 3rd of July 30, so that's 1930. So that's the 12th of December 1892 to the 3rd of July 1930. That's their son-in-law, who was married to their daughter, Melville, his wife, and that was the daughter. Now their son-in-law, Sidney Russell Cook, also died tragically. He accidentally got shot, when they were out shooting, and they had twins. One was a boy, one was a girl. The boy tragically died in World War II. He was shot down. He was an aircraft pilot. And the girl in 1947 died from polio. So that's the grave of the daughter and the son-in-law, and that's the grave of the wife of Captain Edward John Smith. These graves here, the family, the captain of the Titanic, are just over the path from where I just showed you the Titanic survivor, the man who escaped from the Titanic, and his grave is just over there, and that's the columbarium over there. My next grave is a guy who had a special train put on for him as a celebration of his life, and that's how they brought the coffin in. Like I said, what they did with many in them days, used to have coffins coming on the trains, so that was the only way they could get coffins out here. And this chap, he's famous for the Tiller girls, and he's just down here. So this is the grave of John Tiller. And he was born on the 13th of June 1854 in Blackburn, Lancashire, and he died on the 22nd of October 1925 in New York. And he was a musical theatre director who was credited for inventing the precision dance and was the original, or should I say the originator, of the Tiller girls. Now just over the path, in that that direction. Just over in the distance is the grave of Rebecca West. Now Rebecca West, she was a famous author, and I believe in 1947 she was the world's most famous author, and she's buried here. And she had a son with H.G. Wells. A notable grave marker. And her headstone reads Rebecca West, DBE, Cicely Andrews, Nee, Fairfields, 1892 to 1983. She was a famous author. Famous author, had a son with H.G. Wells, died in 1983, had an affair supposedly with Charlie Chaplin, and it's just over the path from John Tiller of the Tiller Girls. Right, next one. So just over there is the grave of Rebecca West, and just behind me is the grave of Cecilia College. Cecilia College and her family, her mum and her dad, and she was a British figure skater, and she was placed 8th in the 1932 Winter Olympics Games at Lake Placid. And she's credited for being the first female skater to perform a double jump, as well as being the inventor of both the camel spin and the layback spin. And at age 11 she competed in the women's single skating competition and was one of the youngest people to ever compete in the worldwide Olympic Games.
This is my little daughter Cecilia, the 14-year-old skater who has just come back from Vienna, where she skated in the Championship of the World and was runner-up to Sonia Henney.
I enjoyed myself very much competing in the championship, and I hope to bring it back to Great Britain next year.
She died in 2008. Well, hope you enjoyed that. That concludes my little mini tour of Brookwood Cemetery. Just a handful of graves. I'll say a handful, probably about 8 to 10 graves there, and it's very warm today, but I'll do some more maybe in the future. And always remember, if you like this video, hit the like button. Remember to subscribe to my channel and check out my Instagram. check out my Instagram if there's any extras or any outtakes from this video or any of my other videos, then that's where I shall put them. So go and check my Instagram out. And sorry I'm puffing a bit, but it is warm, and I'll see you next time. Take care.